Justin Bieber's rise to fame looked like every kid's fantasy: global stardom, chart-topping hits, millions of adoring fans, and unimaginable wealth, all before his 16th birthday. But behind the flashing cameras and screaming crowds was a much darker reality, one that nearly destroyed him. If you find stories like this interesting, consider subscribing to stay updated on deep dives into pop culture's hidden truths. While the world watched a teenage boy become a pop phenomenon, few realized the immense pressure he faced. Exploited by adults who should have protected him, relentlessly mocked by the public, and drawn into a controversial megachurch, Justin Bieber's life was anything but a dream. What unfolded behind the scenes reveals a disturbing pattern of manipulation, neglect, and emotional trauma. A cautionary tale of what fame can cost when the world forgets you're still just a kid. In 2007, a 12-year-old boy from Stratford, Ontario, uploaded a few grainy YouTube videos of himself singing R&B covers in a school auditorium. What began as casual uploads for friends and family quickly snowballed. View counts exploded. People couldn't believe that voice came from a kid. Talent manager Scooter Braun stumbled across one of Justin's videos by accident while searching for another artist. What followed was a whirlwind. Braun flew Justin and his mom to Atlanta, introduced them to R&B star Usher, and began laying the foundation for what would become the Bieber brand. On paper, it seemed like the dream team. Braun and Usher offered credibility, access, and a launchpad into superstardom. But as time would reveal, neither was prepared to shield Justin from the darker corners of fame. Around the same time, Diddy reportedly took a strong interest in the young singer, inviting him to parties and events.
Different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you haven't. I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Right. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
While no concrete allegations have emerged, many fans and commentators later looked back at those early years and questioned the wisdom of exposing a young teenager to adult celebrity spaces. With so many adult handlers orbiting him, it begs the question, where were Justin's parents in all this? His mother, Patty Mallet, was a visible presence in his early career, often appearing in interviews and supporting her son. But even she admitted to being overwhelmed by the pace of his rise. His father, Jeremy Bieber, had a more sporadic role, at times celebrated, at other times criticized for enabling Justin's reckless behavior. The adults around him were supposed to guide him. Instead, they often seemed caught up in the fame themselves. Barely a teenager, Justin was already performing for sold-out arenas, surrounded by adults who treated him more like a product than a person. Behind the scenes, he was crumbling. In his documentary series, Justin revealed that he began smoking weed at just 12 or 13 years old, the same age most kids are just entering middle school. From there, it escalated quickly. He turned to lean, prescription pills, and psychedelics, all in an attempt to silence the noise in his head. Things got so bad that his security team reportedly had to check on him at night to make sure he was still breathing. On the outside, Justin was living the dream. But internally, he was self-medicating his way through a world that moved too fast and cared too little. Every late-night party, every headline, every crowd chant masked the reality. Justin was losing control. By the early 2010s, Justin Bieber had achieved global superstardom. But alongside the adoration came an equal and opposite force: relentless public hate. It wasn't just criticism of his music or style. It was personal, obsessive, and, at times, deeply disturbing. For a while, mocking Justin Bieber was practically a pop culture trend. From talk show hosts to YouTubers, late-night comedians to everyday internet users, everyone seemed to take a shot. His hair, his voice, his age, nothing was off-limits. Online, this manifested in viral memes, slurs, and even violent video games. Flash games like Ragdoll Bieber and Throw Bieber gained hundreds of thousands of plays. The message? Hurting Justin was fun and profitable. Television and film joined in. South Park, Family Guy, CSI, Zoolander 2, each featured fictionalized versions of Bieber being attacked or killed, often for comedic effect. He became the default cultural scapegoat, mocked for being too famous, too sensitive, too feminine, or simply too successful at a young age. And then there were the moments that blurred the line between mockery and violation.
I feel violated right now.
On the Ellen DeGeneres show, a then 20-year-old Justin sat down for what should have been a standard interview. Instead, Ellen displayed a paparazzi photo of him in a private moment, completely nude, to a live audience and millions watching at home. She kept the photo up on screen, even swapping in a photoshopped version with herself reacting to his body. The crowd laughed. Justin, visibly uncomfortable, tried to play it off. Moments like these reveal the double bind he lived in, sexualized by adults 1 minute, publicly shamed the next, loved and hated, fawned over and mocked. It wasn't just the public that failed him. It was the institutions that were supposed to know better. After years of chaos, Justin Bieber turned to religion in search of peace. His journey led him to Hillsong Church, a global megachurch popular among celebrities, and its rising star pastor Carl Lentz. At first, the bond seemed healthy. Carl baptized Justin, mentored him, and even took him into his home to help him detox from Xanax and sex addiction. But their relationship quickly blurred personal and spiritual boundaries. The two were seen partying, traveling, and constantly together, with some describing Carl as a second father. A bizarre 2017 interview at a Hillsong conference raised red flags. Instead of faith-based conversation, Justin talked about shoes, fashion, and even brushed his teeth mid-interview, resting his head on Carl's shoulder. Fans began questioning the church's intentions. In 2020, Carl was fired after admitting to multiple affairs. One former partner accused Hillsong of being a money machine exploiting its celebrity members. By 2021, Justin publicly distanced himself, saying Carl had used him for fame. Justin had sought healing through faith, but found himself caught in another exploitative system. Even the sanctuary he hoped would protect him became a stage for manipulation. Justin Bieber's story isn't just one of fame, it's one of control. From the moment he was discovered on YouTube, powerful adults in the music industry moved quickly. Usher and Scooter Braun recognized his potential, but their rush to launch him into superstardom didn't come with the safeguards a child star desperately needed. Even his family dynamics were complex. His mother, Patty Millett, was heavily involved in his early career, but lacked experience navigating the cutthroat industry. His father, Jeremy Bieber, drifted in and out of his life, often more like a friend than a parent. Justin was left exposed to a system built to profit off him. Then there's the lingering cloud of Diddy. A resurfaced clip shows Diddy saying,
"Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy."
When Justin was just 15, followed by awkward moments where boundaries seemed unclear. While nothing definitive has been proven, it adds to the growing discomfort around how young Justin was treated by influential adults. Justin wasn't just marketed, he was molded, packaged, and sold. And behind the image was a vulnerable teenager trying to survive it all. In recent years, Justin Bieber has taken visible steps toward reclaiming control over his life. After years of addiction, public meltdowns, and toxic industry relationships, he's begun to share his story on his own terms, through music, interviews, and a raw docuseries that pulled back the curtain on his struggles. Marrying Hailey Baldwin in 2018 marked a new chapter. Their relationship, though often scrutinized online, has become a cornerstone of Justin's journey toward stability. Hailey's support, along with Justin's ongoing therapy and focus on faith, separate from Hillsong, seems to have grounded him. He's also become more vocal about mental health, both his own and the importance of seeking help. From discussing his past drug use to acknowledging the pressures of fame, Justin has shifted from being a passive figure in the tabloids to an advocate for healing. But even with progress, the trauma remains part of his story. The public ridicule, industry exploitation, and blurred adult boundaries shaped his youth in irreversible ways. Still, Justin's survival and his evolution is a testament to resilience. He may have been nearly destroyed by fame, but now he's actively working to define life on his own terms. Justin Bieber's journey is more than a celebrity drama. It's a cautionary tale about what happens when a child is thrown into the jaws of global fame without proper protection. From being sexualized and mocked as a minor to navigating addiction, manipulation, and misplaced trust in spiritual leaders, Justin's life behind the scenes was anything but glamorous. What's remarkable isn't just what he endured, but that he's still standing.